Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Off Air Podcast. I'm Slater.
I'm Marjo.
Episode 10.
10. We made it to 10.
D8th, bro. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe if you like what you see. Help the channel grow. Drop a comment. We're going to find out whether Marjo is on Ozempic.
Clearly not.
One of us feels sympathy for the astronomer CEO who got put on blast at the Coldplay show. We're going to find out who feels bad for him. We're going to talk about racism.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about first dance songs at weddings. This one's really all over the place in the best possible way.
And who is the biggest alcoholic here? We'll find that out too.
I'll take that. We also talk about our guest Craig traveling abroad to Africa, pretending that he was German. It's a good episode today. Good listen.
Off Air Podcast starts now. You on the Lady Gaga diet?
No.
Booze and
I wish.
I wish.
I really hope are we recording?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Bagging in car washes, booze and what's that? Or the YouTube live
people
stream.
keep asking me, not people keep asking me, but people ask other people if I'm doing Ozempic. And I was like, if I was doing Ozempic, I'd be a lot thinner than this, people, okay? Also, just for the record, you would know I was on Ozempic because I would tell everyone I was on Ozempic.
Yeah. Would you?
Yes, 100%. Stop being fake with people. Losing weight's hard. Just say, yeah, I lost weight because I had help. I don't know. Anyway.
It's the face with Ozempic. Like the face.
Pretty crazy.
Face. Like I bumped into someone I hadn't seen the other day. I was like, I did the old double take, bro. I was like, oh.
Yeah, do you know?
I was like, Ozempic face.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, dude.
It's really fun.
I'm like, oh, your face. Is this rolling?
And that's my Ozempic
I
hot
need
take for
some
the day.
help.
I got some help. Anyway.
So you're not on Ozempic?
I'm not on Ozempic.
Would you ever take Ozempic?
I don't think so because I know how to lose weight. I think I've done it a million times. I know eating clean and exercising is a good formula for me. I don't judge anybody who does it. I've looked into it, but I'm not going to spend. Maybe if I got it for free, but I love food.
It's a lot, right?
And I know people who've gotten sick from it. Like I like to eat. Like I don't know. I don't think it's the right path for me. Today's episode of Off Air with Slater and Marjo is brought to you by Berkshire Adventures. Berkshire Adventure Tours, e-bike tours, picturesque picnics, private e-bike rides, Cloud9 seats, hidden gems, and scenic picnics. I did one of these the other day. Can't recommend it enough. Great local guide here in the Berkshires. So BerkshireAdventureTours.com. You can find them on social media.
We love talking about mental health on this show and being transparent and addiction and stuff. When I first started at the radio station, I was working with your mother, and it was a Monday night, and I'm walking out of the liquor store with a massive bottle of Svedka grape.
Good night coming.
Yeah. Your mom was like, Slater, party at your house? And I was like, no, I'm the only one coming, man.
Were you mixing it with Sprite? Were you
seltzer.
Okay, all right.
Seltzer.
That's slightly a tick up from me.
And Marjo and I always debated the fact that she thinks that, like, it's like, oh, what's the big deal? You know, people are just replacing it on the shelf. It's like, nah,
like,
bro.
Slater thinks the more quantity they're buying, like,
is indicative of how big your alcohol problem is.
And
I do.
There is a friend of mine who like refuses to buy 30 packs. I think I've talked about this before because he says that he's just going to drink more if he has more in his fridge. My brain goes to an economic place where it's like,
you're better off buying more because you're not going to drink the 30.
Like if something's like 3 for $10, I'm going to buy all 3. I'm not going to buy one.
Yeah, but you're not going to. You have the self-control not to drink them.
Most nights, yeah.
Most nights.
Yes, most nights. I mean, listen, when your alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning for work, it's a real quick reality check that's boozing it all night. It's not. It just doesn't work.
Do you ever do the internal struggle of like, could I just quit? Like, could I quit work right
Drinking
now?
or my job?
No, your job. Yeah, like at that moment in the morning, you get that 2 second. I was like, I could just call and quit and start over, start fresh, sleep another hour.
Yeah.
I've had that.
Yeah, I know. Do I really need this job? Because the drinking's not going anywhere. The drinking.
Yeah, let's assess. I'm definitely not going to give up the drinking.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
My brother and I talk about that. It's like, the drinking is it's like that bond is unbreakable.
Yeah.
It's like this is
that's not true.
This is
broke it.
Well, for many years, it was like this
hard.
is an unbreakable bond.
Yeah.
You and I we're married.
You're best
This
friends.
can is not leaving the inside of my palm.
That's what people say, like when they quit cigarettes. They like mourn like the death of something in their life. Like that's their best friend to a certain extent. But
Well, alcohol too is like societally
so accepted.
Encouraged.
And it's, in fact.
It's the only thing you get vindicated for if you are sober. or you get a weird look of like, oh, he doesn't.
Yeah,
drink.
when
They don't
somebody
drink
tells
anymore.
me they don't drink, I always assume that they had a drinking problem. In reality, maybe they just don't like drinking.
Yeah, or they just don't drink. Yeah, there's nothing else that like if you were like, I don't do heroin, you would. Kind of like the party.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of pussy really hanging with.
Oh, yeah, I don't do heroin. Oh, did you have a problem? No, I just don't do heroin.
Yeah, but it's weird because again, everything you do, there's that aspect of having a drink in it. Like as a wedding DJ or an event DJ, like I go back and forth with that struggle of like, I don't want to drink to I'm here, I can have a drink, I know my limit to,
And people encourage it. Hey, let me get you a beer.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And like when I finally like was talking it out with somebody, I was like, well, how many drinks do you have a night? Well, I work 5-6 nights a week, let's say. And so, well, how many times do you drink? Well, I maybe have 3 or 4 drinks. So they said you have 3 or 4 hard mixed drinks a night. Yeah. Every night. Yeah. And that's the start of a problem. And it's
Well, yeah. I mean, by the definition,
it.
by the American, whatever the Doctor Association, that technical group, I think it's 14 drinks a week for men and 7 for women. Yeah. And anything more than that is considered binge drinking.
We gotta get the gender. Yeah, we just gotta. It gotta be equal across.
Yeah, because I could probably drink you under the table.
That's what I mean. I know most women I know can.
No, I had to learn the hard way with the radio station transitioning from being in food and beverage and the restaurant business. I mean, Slater
another
will tell
industry.
You, it 100%. Was a tough transition. I thought I could maintain, and I was 10 years. I was 30 years old when I started at the radio station. I'm 40 now. I thought I could maintain, like, I can still go out with my friends till 10, 11 o'clock at night. Nope. You learn real quick that is not going to work.
But we were out at a local bar somewhere the second day you started, and
that wasn't the second day. That was like...
I think it was, yeah. I think we were out having a celebratory...
Slater's like, I remember filing the report
It was within the first week or two. I don't know if it was quite the second day. When we went to...
It was an Australian guy.
Yeah, Australian guy.
And then one of his buddies came in the next morning and said, where's Marjo, mate? I was like,
when he knew I was at his boy's house.
Yeah. I was like, I think she went home to your buddy.
He's texting me frantically like, I'm at your job. You're not here.
Should have said that.
Anyway,
Dango ate you, babe.
Yeah, moving on. So, yeah.
Craig Hopkins.
Craig
Welcome
Hopkins,
to the
everybody.
Off Air Podcast.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You betcha.
Been excited.
I used to drink when I used to do. I drank at weddings when I used to do weddings back in the day. I know I'm working for you now. I've been sober almost 3 years, but I used to drink at weddings. Yeah. It was a real struggle for me not to drink at weddings, dude.
Yeah.
Like everyone's partying, I want to get loose.
But I feel like unless you know the couple, I feel like it's a little unprofessional.
It is.
I mean, I don't know where does the line go. Listen, if the groom or the father, or whoever's paying your check at the end of the night or whatever, if they come up to you and offer you a beverage, I feel like that's a little bit different.
Absolutely.
But like, I don't know, my father, if he was footing the bill and he saw the DJ throwing back Bud Heavies over there, he would be like, excuse me? Like, I think you have to read the room, right?
Yeah, I don't... I'm probably going to throw myself under the bus here for something. I've had it when I got started years and years and years ago, and I didn't have that boundary for myself. Mm-hmm. There was an incident, I made a fool of myself.
Oh, really?
Luckily, I didn't. So like you said, I did it. It was like a small backyard wedding. It was like a backyard bash. So luckily, it wasn't like we were at the $10,000 estate.
Right. Yeah.
It was
you
like
weren't at Wheatley. It was
it was a backyard
shooters.
Bash. We're on a basketball court. It was half the family was Spanish and the other half was just like good old boy country folk.
Oh, that must have been a fun dynamic.
All night it was like they were coming up in like shot, drink, shot, smoke this, shot, this. And then at one point the woman was like, can you just put on this 3-hour YouTube mix and let it play? And I was like,
no
problem.
On my Spotify
It was like the moment this was like, you could do this for a living.
Yeah.
And then I remember like I don't remember much, and then I remember waking up on it was like a cabin bathroom floor, and I could hear from out the window someone be like, hey, where'd the DJ go? And the music's still playing and people are still dancing, and like only a select number of people had really noticed I disappeared. And so I like threw myself together and like the door swung open and I'm back,
Learned the hard way, right?
Exactly.
And you never did that again?
No, never to that point. So like I won't drink through this, like the ceremony, I don't drink at all. Yeah. The cocktail hour, I'm running around doing stuff, I don't drink. Usually if I'm going to, it's at the end of the night after I've gotten through everything that I know, and we're kind of in the mix of, you know, the dancing and the partying and having fun, I'll have one drink at that point.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when I'm cleaning up at the very end of the night, if I'm
Sure.
able to, because like I know a lot of these people that work the catering
course.
and the bartending,
Yeah.
so they'll be like, hey, we'll
Right,
leave a drink for you.
I mean,
and-
when you're cleaning up, that's
yeah,
you know,
so
a
it's,
little bit different.
but it's I will not get drunk or drink prior to those big things, because if I did mess something up, I would, that's what I would blame it on.
Of course.
That would be the first thing I would say is you messed up because you drank.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've performed a couple wedding ceremonies for some of my friends, 3 for 3, by the way. And I remember the first one I did, I was so nervous about screwing it up that I did not have. And they were a very fun, loose couple. Like, they were like, go ahead. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but I was just so nervous. It's the most important. We were talking with our producer, Ryan, before we got started. Like, weddings are a lot of pressure.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely,
this
yeah.
is the most important day in a lot of these people's lives. And I don't want to be the responsible party for screwing it up.
Yeah, you can't screw it up.
And no.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being someone that the person that's like what they make movies about is that
Right.
person that screwed up
Right.
someone's
I screwed it
wedding.
up.
Yeah.
I did. No,
Oh,
you screwed up
no,
what?
I spilled a beer on the groom's laptop. Yeah, shut down the whole dance floor.
Really?
It was right in the middle
You
of like
didn't know that?
I
You
do
hired-
remember you telling
Wait a
me
minute,
this.
wait a
right
minute,
in the
wait a
middle
minute.
of like
Dude.
like I was going to grab my headphone.
He hired you to DJ for his company, and you didn't tell him the one story that I think of every
That's
time I
something
think of you
I
This
would
is
DJing.
never-
2007. I mean, this is a long time
I would
ago.
never put a beverage by the equipment.
Oh
That's
yeah,
like,
I know. Yeah.
people do the thing, they hang over the cage with the beer, and they're like, hey, brother, you gotta-" and I'm like, whoa.
The beer, I can see it in my head now. The beer, there was a Bud Light bottle
Oh, it must have all
toppled
went
over,
slow-mo
and
for
then
him.
the keys to the laptop. The screen went black, and then I had to lie to the groom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
I had to lie to the groom.
I
and
mean,
I was
you
like,
didn't
I was
have
like,
to,
I was like, I don't know what happened.
You're like, I think I saw a bolt of lightning. A power surge hit the field. Like,
and then he
oh,
was
yeah.
like, no problem. He was like super graceful about it.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
no
yeah.
problem. Well, I get the backup iPod back when they had iPods.
Yeah.
Mid 2000s, and
Did
then
they get it
the
back on?
father overheard me talking to the guy.
no.
He heard me saying the truth. I had to pull the groom aside and be like, listen, dude, I am so sorry. I cooked your laptop. I fried your wedding.
it was the groom's laptop.
It was the groom's laptop, dude.
Talk
This
about
was in
adding
an-
insult to injury.
This
Not
was-
only did I screw up your wedding reception, but I ruined your MacBook, by the
Right.
way.
There was nothing important on that computer.
This was at an armory in like central Massachusetts, it was like a medieval museum inside. It was gorgeous.
was it the venue, the Armory?
I think that's in Albany, right?
Yeah, that's an Albany.
I don't
No,
know.
this is in Worcester.
Yeah, no, that's
Massachusetts.
the Worcester Armory.
Yeah, maybe that's what it
okay.
is.
Yeah, no,
it was
I'm pretty-
gorgeous.
I
yeah.
stand corrected.
It was very, it was nice. But
Interesting.
so,
Okay, well, this is good to know with those weddings coming up.
yeah.
I know.
I don't know if I've ever had anything that was like, I've had like things happen, and it's like, I learned this doing theater in middle school. When you make a mistake, you sell it. You
Oh.
make that mistake 110%. Like, nobody really knows how things are supposed to go.
Yes.
So it's like, as long as you can sell it back
None the
to
wiser.
them,
Yeah.
then you can slide by. Because like I had one where couple was going to do their first dance. Everything was going smoothly. The internet that I was on, because at that time I hadn't thought to myself, you need to hard download every file before a wedding. So I was relying on the internet stupidly. The internet cut out because everybody came into the reception hall and everybody jumped on the Wi-Fi.
Of course.
And so the one song I needed, their first dance, wouldn't load. And so it was Ed Sheeran. It was like Thinking Out Loud.
Of course.
And so
It's either that or perfect.
so I thought I got it to load, but instead Perfect loaded. And the couple danced their whole first dance and didn't question it. And shout out Ed Sheeran for sounding so similar from song to song.
Yeah, I was gonna
Wait,
say, did they really?
you played the wrong song.
And
for
I
a
went up
couple's
to
first
them
dance?
after and I was like, I am so sorry. I was like, it was like I had clicked it to play, and because the internet didn't let it play, it skipped it and went into perfect, and they just danced. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I felt stupid.
Yeah.
And they looked at me and they're like, that wasn't the right song. And they're like, the Ed Sheeran songs kind of sound the same. And they're like, we're having a
Clearly,
great
that didn't have a lot of
yeah, they're
significance
like, we're
to them.
having
They just
such a
gotta
great
pick it.
time, and they were so cool and so good. So, but it was like one of those moments where I was like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
I remember, and like I sweat a lot as is, but I just remember like the photographer came over and I was
Pouring,
sweating,
yes.
and she's like, can I do anything? And I was like, no, we're good.
I know.
Spit is
I'm
coming
the
out.
same way. The second I get stressed out, it's like even in traffic, like if I'm
Yeah.
anything, the second some kind of stressful situation starts to happen, I just start to sweat immediately.
Yeah. It's high pressure. It's like 2 minutes of high pressure, but it's like you said, you could ruin someone's
I couldn't
entire
do it.
memory of that.
Yeah.
And I hear horror stories of people being like the DJ ruined the wedding.
Well,
like,
the DJ can also make or break a wedding.
it can 100%.
I mean, that's people always say food. The first thing I think about is the vibes of the DJ and the dance floor.
Yeah.
Bands or wedding? Like, what's the go-to these days? Bands or weddings? Anyone? I mean, I've been to some weddings. There's been some sick bands. Shout out to Sister Sarah in Cincinnati, Ohio. They were great.
Yeah. Or our friend Sabrina's band, Funk Evolution. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're
I
based out of the Saratoga
the
area.
Wanda Houston band recently, and she's
wildly
incredible.
talented,
and it was cool because we did like a dual setup. So like
that's what I prefer.
They played for a little while, then I would take over and do some stuff. Then they played, and then I took over.
As long as the band can do songs that will still fill the dance floor. Like I remember my brother got married in, when did 24 Karat Magic? Or maybe Uptown Funk.
Yeah,
Uptown
14.
Funk. Uptown Funk came out and they had like an 8-piece band at their wedding. He had a band at the wedding. He's like, no, Marjo, they're so good. And the horn section, they crush all the pop songs. That's how.
But you're looking at 20, 30 grand. I mean, it's that's why I tell couples, like, if you have the budget for, I'm in a groomsman in my buddy's wedding, and I had originally told him, when the time comes, I'll take care of you, anything you need. And he's like, we're gonna go with a live band, and I was like, dude, if you have the budget for a live band, do it.
How much more are they? Way more.
Well, think about it. Our friend is in a 9-piece band.
Yeah, and you gotta figure every person. There's 9 people you're paying.
I know she's making tens of thousands of dollars for the wedding season.
Yeah.
So if she's one of 9,
wow.
Yeah.
But again,
where are these people getting their money?
She's playing, this band in particular I'm thinking of is playing like very bougie. I mean, they're not doing a backyard.
Weddings are crazy expensive. The minute you put wedding on anything, any service, you go to get a cake at Big Y, right, or wherever. Yeah. If you're just getting a cake, it's $10.99. But if you say, well, I need a wedding cake, they're like painting the zeros on. It's ridiculous.
Weddings are crazy.
I feel like,
I mean, you do get some of it back.
And I know
gifts,
I'm like not. I just think the idea of marriage in general is kind of antiquated, but I'm also very much a live and let live. If that's what's important to you, if that piece of paper is important to you, then more power to you.
Yeah.
But I just see people, you're spending $50,000. You know what I mean? Like that's a down payment. That's a really nice down payment on a house.
That's what I've had couples before. They've booked with me and then called back and said, "Hey, look, we just got eloped this weekend. We just can't do it." I was going to do one of my best friends. My friend he got engaged in like November, December time. And he originally was planning on getting married in April, and he told me, I was like, "You're not getting married in April."
That's
I was
not
like,
enough time to save money.
And he's like, "No, I think we're gonna do that." I was like, "You're not gonna. I guarantee I will put money down." And he called me. He was like, "We're gonna move it to June." And then finally he called. He's like, "We're looking at the prices." He's like, "Why do this?" He's like, and same thing. He's like, "We want to get a house. We want to have kids. We don't want to spend $40,000-$50,000 for one night for a big party for a bunch of people. We really don't."
Yeah, half of them are like second cousins that your mom's making you invite.
Exactly.
And now I think weddings fall under the same category as everything now. It's keeping up with the Joneses because of social media. I mean, look at promposals and stuff like that. The money that kids are spending on proms, I'm like, that wasn't a thing when we were in high school. Like, I feel like people think they have to level up their wedding because they've seen all these other things on social media about other people's weddings.
TikTok. I've had this conversation like the last few weeks. It's so funny you say it because TikTok, I've had so many vendors come to me and be like, I fucking hate TikTok.
Yeah.
I hate what because they see one thing. Yeah. I was with a florist and she had to get all these individual glasses and all these things. And she was just explaining, like, she's like, they saw it on TikTok and now like I'm out here picking single stem roses and this and that. And
you're going to pay a premium for that, right? If you're taking that.
Flower prices are crazy because of the tariffs. That's my fun fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's my fun little, I dropped, that's my piece of knowledge I drop in conversation.
That's right. Yeah.
Those flower prices.
Where are they coming from?
Canada.
Yeah, Canadian flowers.
There's a bunch of the
lumber,
trending
the flowers,
wedding flowers that people use that get imported from Canada.
Did you pay for it? Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was just my point.
That's it.
I want to know, what did you pay for?
That was your point?
Yeah.
I was wondering if you paid for your wedding.
$10,000, yeah.
$10,000?
That's all in, $10,000?
Yeah.
That's what you guys put in?
I think her father put in 5. We put in 5.
Oh wow.
Oh okay. Yeah. Oh, that seems very
reasonable. And then we got it back.
Yeah.
With gifts.
Yeah. Well,
did you break even or you made more?
I asked her to marry me in August of 2014, and we were married in December of 2014. I mean, it was quick.
Oh,
we
wow.
We didn't have any money. I was in radio. Radio doesn't pay money.
Where did you go? What venue?
The Stockbridge Sportsman's Club.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about that.
Very low ceilings. It was a shotgun wedding.
Because it's out of gun range.
Teenage.
I've been to that gun range before.
Nobody get. Yeah. You got that joke, but you know how many people like that joke just goes over the head. It's crazy.
Shotgun wedding.
Yeah.
Sportsman's Club.
Oh.
You know what a shotgun wedding is?
Yeah, when the dad would come out. Well, the origin of it would be a dad would shotgun because you knocked up the daughter.
What?
Yeah, that's where the origin of it.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what the term shotgun wedding
Yeah,
means,
that's
but
what
I
it's like
didn't
a
know that's
thrown
where it came from.
quickly thrown
it's
together.
So you
wedding.
knock her up.
Yes.
Yeah, and the
And the
dad
dad
comes
comes
out
out.
Yeah.
with a shotgun.
Oh my God,
You better
that's so
marry
funny.
my daughter.
I never knew that.
Oh, I love that's like my favorite thing to look up. Is
It
the
wasn't a
origin
shotgun wedding, but it was
of
Yes.
people
sayings.
shooting right.
Yes, the
Yeah.
origin of sayings is very, very
Like kick the
interesting.
bucket.
Okay, so explain that
What's
one
that
to
one?
me.
So when you kick the bucket,
Oh, jeez.
it's messed up, right?
That
Oh,
is
he
messed
kicked
up.
the bucket.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I like that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but it's like when you
Ryan,
figure
cut
it
that
out, then
out.
it makes sense, and you're like, wait a minute.
Mental health is very important.
Yes.
to us here.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
No,
Absolutely.
but listen, I'm sure the roots of a lot of phrases are screwed up.
It's just funny. Yeah.
Whoa, hey now.
hey now.
I'm not slapping that thing. You have to later because it's going to get guts everywhere.
Well, the thing is, you got to go over it.
Oh.
Did you just kill a fly live on?
I don't know.
No,
did
it's
I?
right there.
Damn it. So you're Gen Z, right? What are you, 30?
I will be 30 in like a week.
Oh my God, you're not even 30?
29 right now. This will be my last account of being 29.
Marjo and I are midlife, so we like talking to.
First of all,
Gen
Slater's further into midlife than I
I
am.
am.
All right.
Marjo's like,
Slater's
whoa, whoa, whoa,
not even a
don't-
millennial. He
don't
tries
group
to
me
be a
into
millennial,
that.
but he's not. He's not.
Is that
right,
what I am?
No,
Am I
I'm a
Gen-
zennial.
A zennial?
Zennial,
There's so
yeah.
many
Yeah, 'cause
different
he's
terms for it.
I'm 80.
So
So
I'm born in-
77 through 83.
So it's
is like
95,
We
that's-
grew up analog. We were sort of touched the digital, but you're all digital.
I was a little analog. I
Little
remember
analog.
growing up, like I remember the banana phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banana phone. I
yeah.
don't know what that is.
It's
So-
like the big yellow cell phone.
Oh,
like one of the
like a
early
Zach
ones.
Morris, like a brick phone?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember having one of those and like
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like I
yeah,
like
that was
stole
around
it from
there,
like my dad or something.
Wait,
like, took it to
yellow,
school.
like the Nextel phones?
No,
You chirp,
No,
chirp
like
back?
this thing was
This was a-
yellow
this was
and
a-
rubber. Like
Was it a car phone or my
No,
uncle
not
had a car
a-
phone
Car
with
phone.
a little antenna on the roof.
not a
It is 88 Chrysler Town
might
and
have
Country.
been a car
with
phone.
antenna
But
on the
no,
roof.
because a car phone's connected to your car, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. This was like a. It
This
was
thing was a and it flipped open.
yeah, no.
like
This
the
was
Zach Morris
this was
phone.
just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like the house phone. But
No,
like
the Zach Morris phone was a brick phone. It had no flip.
Yeah.
It was literally like
Yeah,
my
like
brother and
the
I had
big
walkie.
white
Yes,
ones. Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you're right. I don't know.
So you went through a period, 2017, where you were lost, right?
Yeah,
And then you decided to go to Africa.
yeah.
So this is around 25.
No, 20.
How old were you?
2017. I would have been 21, 22.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
All right.
Wow.
yeah,
All right.
So that takes some stones to,
Right.
to go to Africa.
yeah,
You went to Kenya.
yeah.
All right. How did that happen?
So my godfather has this foundation called the Sawa Sawa Foundation, and so every year they go to Kenya, and in 2017, so basically, probably like around that time, somebody that had went to Africa with them, we were talking, and they were kind of in somebody I had looked up to, but they were also somebody that I was similar with in terms of like, we had been through like rough experiences. We kind of had our vices and this and that. And they had kind of told me, I was going through this period where I didn't know what to do with myself. And somebody said this quote of, when you don't know what to do with yourself, help someone else. And for some reason that kind of like stuck with me for a while.
Love it.
And so
Yeah.
then when I had just graduated college, I had left like a long-term relationship at the time. I had no work. I wasn't really serious about a career. I wanted to make rap music. I was like kind of just fumbling through life. And it was right around the time period they were planning this Africa trip. And like my mom was kind of like, you should do it. And I just kind of remembered that quote echoing in my head and being like, you know what, why not? Like, just do it. So then I went in February. So this was probably like early 20 or mid 2016 that we planned it. And then I went in February of 2017. And then I was there for about a month. I think we got back like mid to end March.
So what was your mission?
So every year they go there and they visit this. So we flew into Kenya and Nairobi. Then we drove to Kisumu. And then we drove to this village. It's like Ania. I'm going to forget some of it because it's been a little while. Shout out the Ania people. I hope they're watching.
Yeah.
We got a lot of
we're big on
we got a
Nia.
lot of listeners from Kenya.
Yeah, in Ania, in the Ania village. So every year they go back to the same community and they try to do things like teach financial literacy and money management, as well as do stuff like when I was there, they did a borehole, which was to get clean water for the people. So the way the village works is there's a school, a church, and a clinic, and they kind of all work with each other for the people in that area. My godfather is medically trained, so he would go in the clinic and kind of help them with things that he could do there. The woman that runs it, Karen, who's like a powerhouse of an individual, like gets things done. She would work with the women of the community and kind of teach them, because the women were like the workforce of the community. So she would teach them how to, like start like a people's bank and things like that. And then with the children and stuff, they would teach art, and they would teach, I did music when I was there. So like I taught them how to we made beats on a laptop. We learned like the little bit of music education that I had from college. They would sing. I taught them some like Beatles songs, and then they like cool. performed them for the other parts.
Had they had heard of the Beatles?
Nope.
How old are these people?
It ranged. Like the kids were from like elementary school age up to like first year of middle was like in the school that we worked.
I can't with this fly. I'm sorry, Craig. I can't. We're good.
The people in the village were all ages, like from 30 on up.
What was the reaction to the Beatles?
I think so. They sang "Here Comes the Sun." I have a video of it.
Great.
It's like really funny.
Did they love it?
They liked that song. It was funny because like we did like music appreciation. So I would like be like, this is this type of music. This is jazz. This is country. This is that. Yeah. And like be like, if you like it, let's thumbs up, hands up. If you don't, And so there's some stuff I'd be like, oh, I bet they're gonna like this. And they'd be like, Like Kendrick Lamar, they loved. I remember playing like All Right and I
was gonna say that's early Kendrick too. Right?
Yeah, it was. I think To Pimp a Butterfly had come out, so it was. And that was cool because it was very George Clinton influenced. So there was like aspects of funk and stuff. And it's cool to like to see that music kind of connect back to its roots.
I was just going to say, because Africa's, as a continent, is really rich in music, right?
Everything kind of stems from there. And like when you get to like early music, pretty much all of American music stems from, Black and that culture. So it's cool to see that bridge. It was fascinating, you know what I mean? To see like these kids who had never heard it kind of resonate with it. They do hear some music, you know what I mean? It's not like they're totally cut off from everything.
Like pop music, you're saying?
Yeah, like they see magazines in their time, and like the main parts of the village, like they have radios and TVs and stuff like that. It's just not like everyday accessible. So to them, it's like they hear of, because like Black Panther had just come out when I was there. And so to them, like they knew that movie was playing in the theater. They knew that they probably weren't going to see it, and that it probably.
But they understood the connection.
But they knew, and they had heard of it, and they kind of knew the whole thing. So.
That must have been an insane culture shock. I have friends who have done Doctors Without Borders, which sounds like kind of a similar situation to your godfather. But yeah, that must have been just bananas.
Everything about
had you traveled outside the U.S. before that?
I had been to like Jamaica and Mexico, when
like
I was
all
young.
Inclusive, like,
and like
resorty.
You guys know my mom; she's got like dual citizenship in Mexico, basically. So I had done that. I hadn't left or gone anywhere like that until that trip. That was like my first time really out of the country.
Yeah.
And it was like everything. Like I had to get a SIM card for my phone.
You had to get shots in your butt too, right?
I didn't get shots. I had to take the malaria medication.
I'm serious. My boyfriend from high school, his family went on like an African safari.
Yeah.
When he was in like 10th grade, and I know.
No,
and had to get shots in his.
I remember going to my doctor. I don't remember if I don't think I got shots. I remember they gave me whatever the stuff is there for malaria that they had people taking during COVID.
Sure.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yes. Which makes you have crazy dreams.
Yeah? Like good dreams?
Like hallucination dreams.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What did they think of Americans?
I told people I was German there at that time.
Seriously?
Yeah, no, it was like Trump was in office. It was a weird, and like for them
they couldn't pick out your accent?
That is fascinating.
No.
You told the people of Kenya that you were German?
Yeah, when we got
there. Interesting choice.
Just because
of
like
nationality.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have not German either.
Oh
but
my
hey.
God! I'm
You know,
not
I
American.
wanna go,
I'm
like,
German.
You know what's funny?
Switzerland, maybe,
At the time, I didn't even think of
Norway,
that. But like, how
these peaceful
problematic
countries.
is it? Is they're like, hey, let's just pretend
Dude,
we're German. Like,
So Marjo and I know a guy who's married to a German woman.
Yeah.
All right. This story is amazing. What?
We were talking, we were on doing the morning radio show or whatever, and I think Slater said, well, what's the first thing you associate with German people? And I said BMWs and Nazis. And this woman was so offended.
oh
So offended. And I did not mean it
no,
as in all German people are
no,
not. I
it
mean,
is just
and
your first association,
Dude,
Yeah.
I
which
just
is
spoke out of
everybody
turn.
else's.
Yes.
With the
unfortunately,
first,
yes.
when you say
Yes.
Germany, you
Yeah.
think Nazi. You do. All right. Like,
I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
not
come
going
on.
to stand
You-
by that now
Germany-
after having
yeah.
a conversation with this woman.
Germany's the boyfriend that will never be let
Right.
go. You know,
Yes.
you're never gonna like stop reminding.
it
you.
wasn't that long ago, dude.
No, it really
No,
It was
wasn't.
100
and
years
that's-
ago. Not
listen,
even.
That's a whole separate discussion as to why that's still so
Yeah.
heavy on. So this woman, you know, her husband reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you know, my wife, she was really upset to hear you say that. You know, that's something
I don't mean
that,
to laugh. Like, I'm
No, but I
no,
understand.
it's fine.
Listen, my grandparents were very, on my father's side, Italian. Hated The Sopranos. Hated everything about it. She
Oh, yeah.
said
Yeah.
it makes our people
Look back,
think
yeah.
that everybody's a gangster. Everybody. She's like, that's what most people are trying to get away from that image. And after talking to this woman, I felt horrible about it. Horrible. I was like, it was never. And that's kind of when I learned that like intent versus impact
Yeah.
phrase. You know what I mean? Like, it was never my intent to be offensive, but the impact of,
Of
what I
you
said,
yeah.
you know, so it just made me
That's a
think
good way
twice.
to put it, yeah.
Anyway, so side note, they're just very interesting that you went with German descent.
Yeah.
Because you thought they wouldn't like you if you were American, or
No, it
you
was
just didn't want to have to.
It was a hot time there. They were going through an election period, and like our politics weirdly are very tied into their politics.
I mean, our politics are tied
Into
the
everywhere,
world.
yeah. So like there was an election going on there. Trump had just taken office. Over there,
That's right, early
and like
17,
yeah, and like it was kind of that period of like people were like on one end of the spectrum or the other, like either the world's gonna end or like this is gonna like be the saving grace. Over there, they weren't, because like the election system over there is different. It's much more. They know it's much more corrupt, I should say.
Yeah. It's colonialist, right?
I don't want to speak out of turn.
Understandable.
Yeah, but I
wouldn't
know that
expect you to
there's-
be an expert in their
there's like
government.
assassinations and all these crazy things that go on. But basically
within the government.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, there's like crazy weird history thing.
Did you ever feel fearful over there?
One of our first days we had gotten into the village, which I want to say was Rongo. So we got to the church area that we were staying in, and we went to leave to go to the Ania school, and we pulled out, and they had like had a tire fire in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And they were like protesting something. Like I have like the worst, darkest sense of humor.
Oh, me
and
too.
It's like how I cope, I think so. Like
Sure.
I'm like the white people have been here for 2 minutes and they're already like, get them out.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so but like I remember being like that, kind of being like, hey, wait a minute, shit's real here. Like
Yeah.
this is like, you gotta
Yeah.
be, cause I was 21, 22. I was like, I can walk out in the village.
Of course.
And I would a few times. Like I'd walk around and shop and like, and talk to people and stuff like that. But it was always kind of like in the back of your head of like, you know, like be aware who's around you, be aware where you are. You're in a strange land. You know what I mean?
And also coming in as like the white savior, like I'm sure, like you're a smart kid, Craig.
Yeah.
Like you understand how cultures are different. Like I'm sure that made you not be on edge, but just be aware of like
yeah.
how you conducted yourself. Right?
Yeah, well, so like it's funny too. Like they call white people Mzungu, so it was just, and like they would always do this, like they mimic white people voices, and they'll be like, "How are you?" And like so they'll come up and be like, "Mzungu, how are you?" And like I found humor.
That's
in it,
how
but it's-
we sound.
Yeah, no, it was funny because
You know,
sometimes
like-
some of them would do it just so
I mean, I don't think I sound like that.
Wonder Bread, and you'd be
Well,
like,
yes.
Maybe
it's-
Craig's
it's-
impersonation
It's
just
sort of,
wasn't
it's
that good.
nerdy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean,
it
that's
was like, "How are you?" You know, like,
Yeah.
"Hello, how are you?" You know, and like, But
just like when I think American people impersonate a British accent, like they always try to make it sound snobby. Or like
Exactly.
French, they always try
fish
to make
and
it sound like
chips,
yeah.
When British people, like Russell Brand does American people, and it's perfect.
when people do
it's
American accents,
it's perfect.
like wow, it's
Jerry
very funny.
Seinfeld's on TV tonight. Like it's just, I love it.
Yeah.
I love all that. I think there is a lot of hate in the world and stuff, but I think if everyone just loosened up a little bit, lightened up a little bit,
Yeah.
I mean, like I think like shows like Kill Tony on YouTube. I mean, they're all making fun of each other, but they're all having a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you and I sort of disagree a little bit on that and stuff, but
No, I think it is important for people to laugh and there to be some comic relief and things to not be taken as seriously. But the flip side of that is I think that people have some legitimate complaints as to or legitimate reasons to be offended by things people are saying. And again, my biggest thing is it's not a blanket thing. You can't say all people from Kenya are offended by this, or all white people are offended by this, or all Native American people are offended by this. Like it's an individual thing.
I thought your little clip the other day was good about you, and you're just like because ultimately, like some people do just gotta chill. Like we all just kind of have to take a breath.
What little clip?
oh yeah,
That was you guys,
the
right?
gaslighting.
One
Yeah,
that you can find on
The light-
Off-Air Slater
yeah.
Marjo on Instagram. Is that one of the ones you're talking about?
Off-air, Slater and Marjo.
I mean, she needed to lighten up. yeah.
Wait, what were we talking about?
Gaslighting
It was like the
and projection.
gaslighting, but like ultimately at the end of it, you were saying like there is like that reasonable level of like there are like we should all collectively take a breath. Like,
Yeah.
we
Yes.
all should just like collectively like it's.
I just think it's hard for some people
It
when things are
absolutely is.
so high stakes right now for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to relax. And I agree with you. Like, let's just put our differences aside. But some people, those differences are so
important.
stinging to them and so close to them that they have a hard time doing that. I've just realized, and this is the thing, we talk about it all the time with censorship, like who is the arbitrator of what is offensive and what's not?
Yeah.
Like that's the problem with censorship is who gets to be the or what's offensive versus what, who gets to be that deciding. It's a sliding scale.
Yeah.
Like no one person can say what's offensive to everyone and what's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And well, and then when you start to censor and cater to one, then it creates the whole with the other, and it's like it's never going to be something that's perfect.
Like
and
Marjo and I had an argument on the radio today, or like a little disagreement on the radio today. But I said I felt bad for the Coldplay guy, the astronomer guy. He was. I saw this meme. He was like astronomer.
You feel bad
CEO,
for
hold on, astronomer CEO sues Coldplay for ruining his life. It's like, all right, first of all, Coldplay didn't ruin his life.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You know your actions ruin your life, but like I kind of get it. This guy probably, this is America. This is capitalism. Ideas, turn out to be, money when you put in hard work, and he probably grinded it out and probably came up with a great idea. Endless hours.
You're
10,000
creating
hold on a
the
second.
he got those
scenario of this
Coldplay
guy's
box
life.
Yeah, right. So, grinding it out. The guy's, he might not be a son of an oil tycoon. Might not have been born into wealth. Now, in 1 second, boom, gone. CEO, big salary, gone. Kids hate him, gone. Because of culture.
yeah.
In particular,
No, because of the decisions he made.
Yeah.
that's between him and his wife. I'm not defending or sticking up for or in any way, shape, or form adultery or anything like that. But like,
I know
that's
that.
between him and whoever he was with.
Yeah.
It was
Who
between
was it?
him
He-
and he was with.
he didn't
but
do
then
anything-
brought
he didn't
it
do
to a
anything
public-
illegal.
He
Yeah.
brought it to a public forum.
But for his company,
that dude's probably getting death threats. People are crazy.
And that's horrible.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's-
saying threaten this dude on Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
saying find
that's
his
what-
kids online. Yeah, but that's an issue with those people. Like if you're that unhappy with your life that you're threatening this dude online, you're literally taking time and energy out of your life to hate some dude
You need
who's
a hobby.
basically
Yeah.
Correct. That's a problem
wish
for the
I had
people who
free
are doing
time
that
like
on the
that.
internet.
Yeah.
But this guy brought. Again, Slater, during the show we were talking, Slater's like, well, where is the line? The line is when I'm invading your privacy to expose what you're doing. You went out to
you could have picked a
Gillette
lower
Stadium.
tier band.
Like me, if I'm having an affair,
We're going indie
Yes,
rock
correct.
concert, $25
Yes.
tickets.
I'm going out of town
back
for dinner.
at the club.
I'm,
There's no
I'm,
jumbotron.
or not. There's no concert with
Yeah.
other people.
She's wearing a headscarf and glasses.
Do you sympathize with the guy from Astronomer at all? Like even a little?
No, because he made his bed. I mean, like you're fooling around on your wife. You got to answer to it at some. You're going to answer to it.
So
at some
you
point.
deserve loss of a job, loss of
All right, so
public shame forever.
He lost his job because she was.
Okay, first of all, public shame forever. Nobody's going to talk about this guy.
Yeah,
in a
we're gonna
month.
forget about it.
Right,
But
let's
he
relax
lost
on
his
the
job
public
because
shame forever.
she was a subordinate to him, right, at the company.
She
Yeah.
was he was the CEO,
she was the head of HR. How ironic
which,
is that?
Which is again
Yeah, so I feel like for him to
not the best look.
I mean, that's classic.
yeah, that's
Big
where I
CEO
feel like the
around
job.
woman HR.
Listen, I'm not saying I have no sympathy for
What do you
this
mean
person.
I gotta go
I'm
to
not
HR
saying-
today?
I'm not saying this guy should be, getting
Crucified?
death threats
Yeah.
on the internet.
But-
if his wife's friends want to send him death, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying it's justified or not that he had to lose his job. I also think he's going to be okay. I think people lose their jobs over a lot less. You know what I mean? Like I understand what you're saying, and I think this ties in with people, and I think about it often, and the older I get, the more I think about it. I hate to judge people at their lowest point because I've made some horrible decisions in my life. I'm sure we all have, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I would hate people to judge me on those massive lapses in judgment.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I get what you're saying, but also when Slater's like, his life is ruined, I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be all right.
If you knew like
again, you made your bed.
how many people you know and like talk to on a regular basis that are probably having an affair that
Totally.
you would never suspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
affairs are rampant, unfortunately.
and, like, they-
Yeah, because monogamy is tough to
Well,
live
listen,
by.
it's a commitment. It's you commit to someone. You're in it. In sickness and in health.
as a wedding DJ, you know what? It keeps the work steady,
Yeah.
and that's all I care about.
I used to think of cheating as such a black and white thing when I was younger. Again, I think this comes with age. It's really not. And I'm not
Yeah,
certainly not,
unfortunately, it's no.
whatever.
It's not right by any means. It's
Of
not
course,
okay.
but I think I realize now that things happen sometimes in life. And
Yeah.
things change and people make bad decisions and but I don't know.
All I'm saying is that we live in a world right now where people don't extend a lot of grace.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that was my
Sure.
point. That
Sure.
that really
you-
that was it.
Do you think in the car ride before he's like, "Where are our seats again? They're not going to shine that jumbotron on us." And he
Marge-
points
That's what
it
I'm saying.
out.
You
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
trying to hide it that much. It's not where
Marjo
I
was
would've
like, if
been.
that happened to me, I would have been steadfast. I wouldn't even moved, bro.
Yeah, they should. They,
like that's involuntary.
They made it worse. That reaction made
100%.
it worse.
Yes, because
Bro,
if they didn't.
he could-
if
What
they
kind of
didn't
poker
react-
player are
Guys,
you, bro? You
What?
just gonna stand there and be like, yeah, what's up?
I would have
If
been
they
like,
didn't-
"Don't move, stay still."
Yes, if they didn't react like that, Chris Martin wouldn't have made the comment. It wouldn't have
Exactly.
been this thing.
It wouldn't have gone online.
Maybe some of her friends,
Yeah.
some of the wife's friends or some of the husband's friends, whatever.
People at the company who probably already knew. They'd
Yes.
be like,
Or maybe somebody would see them at the concert and be like,
Can't
I
bring
know
these
those
two
people.
anywhere.
That's not that dude's
Yeah.
wife. Like, sure, that's
to
a definite
drop
factor.
down like a
But to
grenade
Slater's
has been
point,
thrown.
fight or flight. Like, you're
Oh, yeah.
instantly making that decision.
Yeah.
I like to
Marjo's
think
a stone, bro.
Stone.
Yeah.
Stone cold.
I would have been like, hey, I would have maybe given a wave.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. And then when I
Again,
got home,
And the best part
I
about
wouldn't put myself in that position.
Best
yeah,
part
well,
about
that's where you start.
best part about pop culture is Gwyneth Paltrow.
That's the
Just the
spokesperson. They
my
hired
God,
her.
I am
just
Gwyneth
amazing.
Paltrow.
Just
Yeah.
That-
When Chris and I had Apple and Moses,
I will tell you who I have sympathy for in that scenario is people who are a byproduct of that. The
Oh, yeah.
kids, other employees at the company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
listen, I mean, I think in the long run, astronomer people now know that company. I still
yeah.
don't know what it does.
That would be the craziest thing
Dad's
too if
such
you
a
found out it was
scumbag.
all just a publicity stunt.
Dude, we talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, could this be?
people know who
yeah.
astronomer is now.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
maybe-
Nobody
More
knew who was
people know.
astronomer.
That's
Right?
what
You know
I'm
who
saying.
astronomer was?
Listen,
Nope.
in the world of PR and fake relationships and putting stuff out there just to get some headlines, you never know what people
Nowadays
are doing.
it's
to
crazy.
go
I feel like
viral.
me and you always talk about AI and like
Oh, yeah.
have you seen like the new video programs they have? It's like Clio, I think.
VO.
VO, is that it?
VO3.
Yeah,
Google,
it is crazy. Like they do like the people on the street, and it looks it's real.
You can't tell.
You can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It is a wild time, that's for sure. When you were in Africa, jumping back, no
They didn't
internet,
use
no
AI.
access, no access to the internet at all? Or
No, there
some-
was. So
Yeah.
actually,
like
honest-
how remote was this?
I had the best cell service of my life there. As crazy as I had like top
Interesting.
tier 5G, as wild as that is. Yeah. You pay for your minutes basically, like that. Like they do a lot of things. Like they buy electricity by like minutes. It's like it's strange on that.
But like, were these kids on social media? Were
No,
they?
no,
Was
no.
YouTube a thing? Nothing.
No, they had gotten computers for the school. The state had gotten computers for the school. But they kind of like the teachers laughed because they were like, we don't have Wi-Fi. We can't use power to charge the computers. So like, cool, you know? But yeah, no, it's not like to that stuff to them. It's not even like a thought, or it's not even like, it's not like they're like, we wish we were on Twitter. Like we would play like soccer for hours, and it's like, they want to be kids, which was cool. That was really cool.
That's the advantage of growing up in the generation that Slater and I grew up in.
Yeah.
And maybe you to a certain extent, is that we did grow up playing outside constantly, flashlight tag, laser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we
capture
played
the flag,
fort in the woods.
all
and,
of that stuff. Yeah.
How was it being one of the only white people in a country full of black people?
Sometimes it was like you weirdly got, we had gotten invited to the principal's like compound for dinner. So he had like, there was all these he had like 5 wives. So it was like all these little huts basically that he lived in with like,
so they're monogamous then.
Yeah, so with like his relatives and stuff. And he had called like his cousins that lived like 4 hours away, and they're like, we're gonna have a white person over for dinner, like, and they were like, we're on our way, like and then all these people dropped what they're doing
because they had never seen a white person before,
just because it was kind of like, it was a big honor, as stupid as that sounds.
Yeah,
like,
it does sound.
Wow.
That does sound
but it
stupid,
was just
but
like
I
a
understand
big deal that like these people from like that are.
Is it because you were white, or because you were from? Well, they thought you were from
combination
Germany.
of like,
is it because you're white or you're
these
German?
these people knew we were American within like the school compound, like those people did, like for the most part. Like the German thing was like if we were like traveling, like random people we'd run into, they'd be like, you know, but then there was other times, like one time I went shopping and I went into a bookstore and I just wanted to look at the books, and the security guard came over and was like, what are you doing in here? And I was like, oh, just browsing. And he's like, we don't do browsing here. Like, if you know what you want, let us know and we'll get it. If not, you got to leave. And I was like,
were you like, oh, is this is how black people in America feel?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that must be like a fraction of what black people in America have felt.
Yeah.
Like I just got racially profiled.
Yeah.
But like, it was
Is that what it felt like?
A little bit, yeah. It was something I think like every white person should get a little dose of that.
Yeah.
You know, just to
especially we live and grew up in an area that's
predominantly
primarily white.
Yeah, absolutely. So so that's going somewhere where it's predominantly black, like especially on that level. It's not like you go in places and people look, and like you go to like I would go to the markets and buy stuff, and like all of a sudden the prices change dramatically, and like and it's like
that could also be an outer towner thing, but I think they couple together.
And but even like with that too, it's like it would be like from 25 cents to $1, which you're like,
so they would raise the price because they thought, or they knew that you had it, or that you were white and they wanted to stick it to you.
I feel like it's a combination of the two. Not so much they wanted to stick it to me, but it's like,
because that would be
like they just kind of associate
angle.
He's white. He more than likely, if he's traveling in here and dressed the way he is, he has money.
Which ironically you do.
And like, yeah, exactly. And also like it's a tight knit community. Like the village, there's probably only a couple hundred people, so it's like the 5 white people that showed up and stayed here for a month. Like,
but I feel like that can happen to you anywhere as an outsider.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that's what the base of racism is an outsider. You're different than everybody
by the
else.
end of the month too, like I wore bandanas at the time because I was goofy and silly, but I went to like the woman who had the bandanas, and I was like, because at first she was like $1 for each, and I was like, I'll buy like almost every bandana you have. And she was like, what, are you selling them? And I was like, no, like I just like to wear them. And she was like, okay, cool. And so she was selling them for 25 cents. I was cool with buying them for $1. Over here they're like $3-4. So like everybody kind of won, in some way, shape, or another. But it was they were familiar by the end of it, so it was cool like that.
Yeah. I think if you go anywhere traveling, not that you were there as a tourist, but I think it's
like an
scenarios.
Outsider, yeah.
Yes, there are scenarios where it's like, okay, here's the price for locals, here's the price for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we know we can, right?
Why do I think that everyone thinks that most people who are racist are white?
Because you're white?
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that most people think that racist
people are white?
Are white?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think in the
like
U.S.
brown and black people aren't racist.
Like other races aren't capable,
or they're not accused of being racist that much.
Usually people use the power dynamic in that argument of like white people have the power, so like if other races aren't in power, then they can't be racist. I don't know if at that point it's just prejudice, but I definitely feel like people can have cannot like other races regardless
Prejudice.
of
That's a word that used to be used.
Yeah.
Now it went right to racist.
yeah.
Remember that? Like when I was younger, it was prejudice.
Yeah.
You're prejudiced against me. You're prejudiced, bro.
Because
now
prejudice can be anything. It doesn't have to pertain to race specifically, right? A prejudice can be
of course,
if you're
right.
male, if
Right.
you're, gay, if you're, you know what I mean? It can be racism specifically, I think, obviously has to do with the color of your skin. I think it's because you're white and in America.
That's what I think too.
Because
I feel
there's
you mostly hear
racism
about
within, there's colorism within black people. I mean, light-skinned black people are treated better than dark-skinned black people are.
Yeah.
I think
It
there's
is kinda
racism
fascinating why
between
that happens,
other minorities too. If you go, listen, I don't want to speak on this. I'm a white girl from Williamstown, Massachusetts. It's not. But in conversations,
white people
in
debating
conversations with other people, right? But in conversations with other people that I'm close with, racism manifests itself in a lot of different kind of ways. But I think in the U.S., yes, because white people are the majority of the population. That's the narrative, is that white people. And I've talked to some black people who say black people can't be racist.
Yeah.
And I listen to that argument and I see that point of view. To me, it doesn't completely add up, but there's some valid points there.
Yeah.
Black people can't be racist?
I know some folks, again, I don't want to speak on anybody's
Yeah,
behalf,
yeah.
but yes, I've been told that before.
Well,
Why can't they?
Well, like I said, I feel like that argument relates back to the power dynamic, whereas like the minority isn't in power, so they can't show, because racism has to do, I feel like, with the etymology of it, or the definition has to do with there's like a power dynamic to it. And again,
I just thought it was the belief that one race is superior to the other.
Yeah, but I also think it can be a case-by-case basis. I think anytime you're treating somebody differently based on the color of their skin,
yes,
to me, in my mind, that's what defines racism. Right?
I mean, King obviously said it best, like, character.
Yeah.
Your character. I'm going to judge you on your character, not the...
Have you ever do you ever feel like you've gotten any kind of, because I have like a clear example that happened actually right in front of this building.
What?
Like I was walking down and this dude called me a peckerwood, which I was like, that's crazy.
A black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you think he called you that because you were white?
Yeah, because that's a white.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's like a white. We have the worst.
It is. Well,
white
yeah. You never
slurs.
see Back to the Future?
No.
Yeah.
You know that I haven't.
Who are you looking at, Peckerwood? No,
I didn't know that was no, leave that in.
I didn't know
that
either.
that was a term for white people.
I didn't know either
No
until
idea.
I walked away from the situation. They're like, he just called you that. You're gonna really like.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna get out here and be like, all right, brother, like you're not gonna disrespect.
But for the most part, like white insults, like, you called me a cracker,
honky cracker,
which that comes from whip cracking.
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't know
really?
that.
I think so. Yeah,
not.
right. Check that out. Yeah. No, he's a whip cracker.
Before you make
You
them.
cracker. No, I think it is.
What was your source? Trust me, brother.
Yeah.
Trust me,
What are
brother.
you looking at?
Is it weird that I'm not? Oh God. It's a tough conversation to have, but is it weird that I'm not offended? Like if somebody called me a Becky.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
the white
I
insults
don't
are
care.
not.
Like,
They're weak.
That's why I
compared
think
to,
people will say too, like you can't be like white people can't experience that racism, because like you do hear those things, and it's not like there's all those years of whatever linked to the word you're being called. It's like you're kind of like honky, like good one. So it's like
right. And also, I am white, and I have experienced advantages in my life because I'm white.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm like, I can't really fault you. You know?
Yeah, I'm definitely not one of
I mean,
those
if you're
guys
gonna
that's going to
treat
say
me-
that, because there are people out there. I've never experienced white privilege. It's like,
that I think is ridiculous.
That's white privilege.
That's
Because
white
the problem
privilege
is,
right
like,
there.
That's the irony of it, dude. Like
being able to be so
you
ignorant
don't.
to that.
It's invisible.
That. Yeah.
You don't.
Right. But because I think people are offended by the word privilege. Like, if you've never been privileged, if you grew up poor and worked hard your whole life,
Well, that's where I think
still
people get
don't really
upset
have a pot to
is-
piss in. Like,
Yeah.
you're a little mad at the world. And so when somebody looks at you and tells you you have privilege when you're just trying to keep the light bill on, I can understand why people have that reaction. I think it's a misunderstanding of what the term means. It means that when you go into Target in Berkshire County or wherever primarily white area, chances are people aren't going to follow you around.
Yeah, the security guard is not going to double check you. You know what I mean? It's 100%. And like,
I've experienced white. I benefit from white privilege,
Every
and
white person
I have gotten pulled
and
over.
people of color can be racist.
I've gotten
That's
pulled
how I
over
feel.
before.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah,
and I had
yeah,
snow
of
on my
course.
license plate, and I was I'll throw myself under the bus here. I was underage. I was drinking. I had an open container in the car. The cop came up to my window and said, "You had some snow on your plate. I brushed it off for you. Have a good night."
Right.
That you can't deny that. Like I remember I had reading glasses I kept in my truck because I'd throw them on and be like, "What did you say I did, officer? Just getting home to mother," and it was just like,
Chad, is Chad home from racquetball practice yet?
Racquetball. Pickleball.
But I mean, it's
Chad's
so
move
it's
on to the pickleball.
Yeah.
Chad, you're gonna be late for pickle.
Did you talk?
Can I get your old white Adidas?
Did you talk to any of the people you interacted with in Africa about racism? I mean, because all different parts of Africa, the continent, South Africa, the countries within it.
Well,
I mean, there's a lot of history.
Yeah,
well, South Africa is obviously different than Kenya, but like, there's a lot of history there with race, right? Did you talk about that at all?
Not directly like talking about race. So there's tribalism. I mean, there's a lot of different tribes there, and the different tribes don't like each other. And then it was never really like a discussion on like black and white. There was a lot of religious debate, I guess you would kind of call it. Because the people I went with were a little bit, I don't want to say like anti-church, but basically what I kind of learned through this was, so the Catholic Church comes into these areas, they send the missionaries. And
Mormon people, lots of different religions do missionaries. Right?
But it was dominantly, and not to throw anyone religion under the bus, but like dominantly Catholic comes in and they teach the people, give your money to the church, pray every day for things to get better, and things will get better, but just continue giving your money to the church and so on and so forth. And so because of that, these areas got stuck in this rut of they would work and everything was getting sent to the church or to these other areas. And they were praying and doing all the things that they were taught to do to make things better, but nothing was getting better. So the people that organized this group were a little bit more of like, you can't sit on your hands and ask for help. You gotta, if you're gonna follow that, that's fine, but you need to be doing the things to take the steps to make the differences. You need to be working. You need to be organizing your community in these ways. So there was a lot of debates because, not debates, but there were good discussions about the people there that were very much rooted in the ideology of like a white Jesus and like, white Catholicism, and to where the people I went with would kind of open up the discussion of, what if that's not the case? You know what I mean? What if you...
Because to your point of a lot of those groups that are there on missions are there to help people. Yeah. And they are. Yeah. But if they're there to push the narrative of their religion.
And you hear a lot of stories of the groups that do go over that take advantage. It's not like that's not a crazy thing to happen. One of the groups that the woman that organized this group that I went with left was because that group they were just kind of taking money out and nothing was getting put back in. So it was, coming in and kind of working based on that message, but then it was exploiting it. You know what I mean? And it's weird too, because there was a lot of, when I was there, there was, I don't want to misquote this, but I don't know if it was like Israel or Iran. They were in Korea and China. They were buying a lot of the property and the land there to do like these big highway projects, and it's fascinating. You know what I mean? There's so much stuff going on over there. Like it's one of those things that it makes you realize, like, you could be so tied up in U.S. politics and all the things going on in the country or even just your city, and like, everything that's going on there is going on in some level in these other places. It's not like...
Well, humans are humans, right? You can find trends and similarities between cultures.
Yeah. Well, it just like expanded my worldview in that too, of being like, because I remember leaving and my grandfather at the time was like, why wouldn't you go to like Detroit and help the kids in Detroit? And,
I mean, that's
and I didn't know how to answer that. And the guy...
listen, that narrative, we got to help our people at home before we...
Exactly. And the guy I went with said to me, he's like, once we started drawing these borders, that's where the problems began. He's like, once you start to think of it's us and them, he's like, it's us.
We're citizens of the world.
We're all here.
Listen, I know that's corny, but like, if we are all human beings.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what Katy Perry and all the people who went to space felt like.
Yeah.
that was the
Oh,
profound,
God, yeah.
the overwhelming feeling.
We're not bringing Blue Origin into
they-
this
they-
conversation.
honestly,
I 100%. That's got to be
They zoomed
such
out,
a,
literally zoomed out, and they were
paradigm
like,
shift.
wow. They
Yeah.
were like, we're all in this together. Why can't we freaking figure this out?
Perspective is everything.
Yeah.
Literally in that
Yeah.
situation, their perspective changed. But when you start to look at things from a broader perspective, and I think that's one of the most important things about travel.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
don't get me wrong. I love to just travel because it's fun to party and eat and drink and see cool shit and all that stuff. But talking to people who are human beings just like you, who live in a different culture, I just think is invaluable.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's just going to Mexico on a trip with your kids, like seeing, like,
I agree.
even if you're going to an all-inclusive resort, talking to the people who work there, finding
just
about
seeing a
their
different-
day-to-day lives.
different culture and how other places do it. And it's like you said, as different as we are, there are so many similarities and so many things that you're like,
Slater always says that. What's your little, we're more
alike
alike
than
than
we
we
are.
are.
We are more alike.
Tag
Lest
Brian.
we forget, we are
Brian
more
Slater.
alike than we are different.
Yeah.
2025.
Brian Slater, he penned that one.
Marjo's got a hot date. We're out of time.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun.
No comment from the Peanut Gallery.
If you like Craig Spencer-Hopkins, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it,
Yeah, of course, brother.
If you like
That
what you
was the
heard
most
today,
awkward,
I
like,
know.
dap handshake I've ever seen in my life.
If you like what you heard today, please subscribe and help the channel grow. Drop a comment. Tell us when we suck and when we're good. We appreciate it.
Hopefully we did good.
We did great.
Yeah.